Welcome to my craft room slash our guest room slash where I keep some of my clothes. A few videos back I did a video where I started out decluttering this room, that was the goal, and ended up turning it into my dream craft room where I store a lot of my crafts and also where I can do crafts and have like time to myself whenever I want to. The goal for me, the reason of doing those things was because I'm trying not to buy more clothes. I have enough clothes, but I am tempted very often to actually buy more clothes. And especially, I mentioned in that video, around when summer comes, I'm very encouraged, and fall. Summer because being here is miserable and I will just do anything to be comfortable in what I am wearing. And fall because I love fall fashion. I absolutely love when the weather cools down and I can wear something other than like shorts and a tank top. And I know myself, and I know that over the years I've bought more clothes than I can wear, than I will wear. And in this video, I'm going to try to upcycle some of my clothes or just change them around. There's a bunch of different methods I want to try on my clothes throughout this video to make them something I would wear, specifically for fall, for the most part. And I hope that by making this video, it encourages you to also not go and buy new clothes. I hope that this kind of can help us all reset our mindset around shopping and maybe ways that we can find things that we love in our closet and that we can wear and feel good and stylish and happy and all the things that come along with buying new clothes with just shopping our closet. So I'm gonna go through some of the things that I have. These are just a few things. I actually have other things in mind, but these are top of mind right now because I think denim is going to be a big deal for the fall. And I have a couple really good denim thrifted finds that need a little bit of zhuzhing, I guess. First of all, I set out to find a denim skirt, and specifically one that wasn't button. Listen, I'm a plus size girly. I fluctuate because I'm a woman. I mean, we don't have to get into all of my health stuff, but I don't really like to wear like a buttoned up, rigid denim. So I usually like to look for like 100% cotton of the material, but when the waistband has some give, that's my favorite thing. So I was looking exactly for something like this. I don't know if that is actually vintage, but it's definitely old, not a brand I know of. And I found it secondhand, and it's just this denim skirt. The only problem with these is that they're long. I don't like how it looks on me because it's just too long. And it doesn't have to be that much shorter, but it does have to be like a couple inches shorter, I think, for me to be able to style this and be comfortable in it. I avoid this right now because I don't like how long it is. And if I just go get it hemmed, I will definitely be able to make so many outfits with it. Anyway, we're going to get this hemmed. I have not been to a tailor in Austin. I did have one in San Antonio that I like. And because I think denim is going to be like a big staple for fall, it probably actually always is, I sought this out, a denim dress that is button down. I really wanted a denim button down dress. And this is perfect, except it's a little bit big. And I did want it to be big so that it felt like a dress and not like something holding me in. It is also a little bit long, which shouldn't be hard to fix because there's several inches right here between the last button and the bottom. So I think this will also be just a simple hem. I hope that they can keep the hem like wide like this because I really like that. But everything else about this dress is absolutely perfect. And especially I think in this video, because I'm plus size, it's harder for me to find things that are perfect. It's hard enough for me to find things at the thrift store, and then for me to expect to find something that's going to fit my body wonderfully, it's really rare. And I just need to get used to either learning myself, which is a long-term goal, or go ask for someone, for a professional to help me. And that's what we're gonna do with these two pieces today. And then this is also something that I wore to death a couple years ago. And it's hard for me often to declutter things that I used to wear like so often, that were part of my rotation so often, that I'm like, well, of course I would want to wear that again one day. I used to wear it like literally multiple times a week. I find those things kind of hard to declutter over time, and that's what is going on with this romper right here. It is really cute, and I usually like to wear a lot of white, but I don't wear it anymore at all, and I think it's because it's white. It seems very intimidating to wear an all-white outfit now out of my house. I used to wear this a lot to film stuff in my home. I wasn't really going out a whole lot because it was pandemic times, you know what I mean? So I actually think for this, we should dye it brown. I think that would be the perfect thing to do for fall, because if this were just brown, it would be giving fall and I wouldn't be so nervous to wear it all the time. So I'm going to attempt to dye this brown in today's video. Those are the things that I've compiled at this point, but I have a couple other things that I'm thinking I want to do. Like, I've been wanting to dye my backpack. I talked about that recently in my What's in My Bag video. I'll link it up there if you want to watch it. I also just want to do more embroidery projects, more patchwork projects. As of right now, I'm literally headed out the door because I need to go drop these off at a tailor, and then I'm meeting my friends to go thrifting. ironically. But I wanted to give you a rundown of some of the things that we're going to do in today's video. So if you like it, hit the like button, and let's hope these turn out well. I do have a few projects on my to-do list that include like different sorts of dyeing. I talked about my backpack a little bit, and I talked about wanting to dye that white romper brown. This backpack has been featured in my What's in My Bag Essentials videos for years now, and in my most recent one I was complaining about the color of it because it always looks dirty, and like I was like, I do like this backpack, but if you're gonna buy it, I would buy it in a better color that wouldn't show how dirty it is all the time. And in saying that, I was like, why haven't I tried to dye this backpack yet? That just makes sense to attempt. So I did attempt, and this is what we got. The reason that it looks a little bit like quite splotchy and weird is because this actually is not organic cotton. I know that they use recycled organic cotton in their backpacks. This is by Day Owl. It's a synthetic mixed material, and so that means you have to use a different dye to dye it. So I got this. It's basically the same dye, but it's for synthetic materials, and the name is Perfect. It describes what I'm going for, which is smoky blue. It's like a gray blue. So we're gonna attempt to dye this in my washing machine once again. Fingers crossed it works out. If it doesn't, I don't know what we're gonna do. We're just gonna say that we tried to tie-dye this and it was on purpose, that it looks splotchy. Okay, after the water is in the washer, you have to move like really fast because you have to basically pause it after it puts all the water in to add the dye. So I'm just doing that. Here's hoping it works. I wanna pause this. We're about halfway through just to see what's going on in here. Is it still hot? The water is supposed to stay hot the whole time, but in the washer it doesn't really fully do that. This is looking a lot better than the last time I did it. So that is very good news. Yeah, right? Oh my God, okay. Think we hopefully have a success on our hands. We'll see soon. The dye did work on the backpack, and it looks like honestly even better than I could have imagined. I think there's still a little bit of splotchiness, but for the most part, I'm happy with it. I like the color. It's not as splotchy, and I will definitely be using it. I'm leaving it out here to dry for a little while, but I consider that a success. This is a win. Well, speaking of fall, I knew this video was going to take me a while because I knew I wanted to DIY stuff. I knew I wanted to take stuff to the tailor. I knew I was getting this done soon after I started it. And now my hair is just changing halfway through it in a very dramatic way. But it's not just that. I started this video thinking that I was going to be talking about ways to stop myself from shopping by upcycling things and caring for them and just kind of going through my wardrobe and really like remembering what it is I have. But then as I was going through my wardrobe, which I swapped out my clothes back here, I was remembering like, oh, I forgot I had this. Oh, I forgot I had this. Like some things were on my thrifting wish list that I literally had when I swapped out my wardrobe. And then throughout that process, I actually watched a video by Alexa Sunshine 83. It's Always Sunny Here, boop, if you know, you know. And she was talking about this app she used called Index to catalog her entire wardrobe. And I thought, that is freaking genius. And one of my favorite features about this app is that you can create outfits within the app. Another amazing part of it is you can hire a stylist. Once you upload your pieces to your wardrobe, you can hire a stylist to help you re-envision the clothes that you already have. So I felt like this was the perfect way to stop myself from shopping even more. It says I have 186 items cataloged so far, which feels like a lot, but also not like a lot at the same time. Like I haven't put any of my accessories in here yet, so I think once I do that, it will look a lot more full-fledged. So I'm very excited about this, but we will check back in towards the end of the video. Another thing that we need to do, because I thrifted these sweatpants, please hold. So when I pulled out my cool weather wardrobe, I remembered that I didn't have any sweatpants, which I guess you don't technically need them all that often here in Texas, but sometimes you do. And the only option being like leggings when you're trying to chill or jeans is not the vibe. Like you need at least a pair or two of sweatpants. So I noted that when I was going through my clothes, added sweatpants to my thrifting wish list, and I found these this very same day that they got added to my wish list. The only thing with these is that they are green, which this color to me says spring, not winter. So because of that, I decided to try to remove the color from these so that we could get to like a neutral white cream sort of color. And I found out that you have to have a certain type of dye removal, and the one that I had was for natural materials, and turns out these are not a natural material. Yeah, that's not, look, there's no green in there at all. And I found out that you can just buy a different kind of dye remover for synthetic materials. So I got this. We're going to try these on these today to make the things that we found secondhand or that are already in our wardrobe or that need to be added to our wardrobe and make them as sustainable as possible. So wish me luck on this. All right, welcome to, oh, we're gonna take this out. The instructions on this dye remover say to get the water up to 200. And we are, oh my God, we're not there yet. We're only at 140. So let it sit for a little bit longer. You bring the water up to like 200 degrees, put in the dye remover, put in the fabric, leave it in for around 15 minutes. And then hopefully, with any luck, we will then have a neutral white/cream pair of sweatpants. I think I read them on the package that this little baggie is dissolvable. Please, let me reread. No mess packet that dissolves in water. It does technically say that, so I didn't need to cut this, but I'm just gonna drop it in. Boop. Let's hope this works. I'm nervous I still got the wrong thing because on it, it says technically cotton, linen, silk, and synthetic blends, which again, this doesn't have a label on it to tell me what the material is, but it's gotta have cotton in it. So if this doesn't work, we're just gonna rock the green sweatpants, I think. The other option could be to dye them brown too. Wait, I didn't think about that. Well, sadly, I don't think it's working at all. If anything, it looks more green than when I put it in, which is disappointing and confusing, but fine, because I think that's one of the things I'm loving about the process of making this video and being very intentional with the clothes I already have, is that as I'm doing these things and filming and going through things and like talking through ideas with you, I came up with the idea to dye these brown, and I was already about to dye something else brown. I think I can just put them both together and dye them both at the same time. And if I hadn't like been very intentional and conscious by like trying to do this, I wouldn't have thought of that. So I'm just gonna go for it. I just ran a really quick cycle of laundry to get these washed from trying to remove the color, and as you can see, they are still very much green. It's definitely a pale green, but the green is still definitely there. The thing about using like these efficiency washers to do the dyeing is that they distribute how much water they're going to put out based on the weight of clothes. When they do their little sensing thing, that's how they know how much water to put in to wash your clothes. Which when I was dyeing my backpack, I thought was the main problem, was that like the backpack weighed so much that it put a lot of water into the drum, and then the ratio wasn't good and it didn't dye it. I think turns out I was just using the wrong dye, but I'm still gonna go with that method since these are kind of wet, since I just ran them through the washer. And I'm just gonna leave the other piece in here, which is the white romper that I talked about before, and let it sense with just this in it so that it'll put enough water for just this. That way we make sure we don't put too much water in, basically. And then I'll throw these in when I put the dye in, which you do after it like distributes all the water. So this is the before of the romper. We're gonna let her get started. I also, last time, I changed it to the soil level to be light. That way it's not too much water. And then you want the water to be as hot as it can be, which is, I normally put my clothes on cold to wash them, but for dyeing, you want it to be hot. So we'll get that started, let it sense so that the water will start coming out. Then I can put these two things in there. And let me just show a before of the sweatpants before we put them in case I want to do a little side by side for you. Okay. Wish me luck. Okay, my anxiety can't let me not check on what it looks like inside there because it's on a hot cycle. I can't really see through, and I feel the desperate need to pause and look inside, even though I shouldn't, because the water needs to stay hot, but like I just can't not. Oh, I can't see anything. Okay, well, that looks good. I just wanted to see it, but that didn't help. Oh, okay. Damn, I was just setting it up to say that it was going through the spin cycle to rinse, or like to get all the water out. And I'm gonna take them out while it does that, while it refills the drum with water, because then we put in a dye fixative and then we put them back in. But it started refilling before I could tell you. But this is the first look before the fixative and like the rinse cycle and all of that, what it looks like. And I'm so excited because it looks like it actually worked, and it looks really good. Excuse my language. I'm honestly so freaking excited about that. Like, this is something I would be so excited to wear. This color is amazing. It's interesting because this has like obviously a green under base, like because the pants were green and this was just white. The difference in the colors, but I like both of them a lot. This one is also really freaking good. Oh my God, I could cry. This is the fixative, and I think it's just supposed to help the dye hold a little better, which we're hoping for these to hold better. So put this in here. Whoa. Nice, okay. All right, we have the 5 things we started the video with to update and make sure that I utilize them more, this being the 5th one. And I want to walk you through each of them and how I feel about them. And let me tell you this, actually, let's start with the backpack. In person, it looks really, really good. On camera, I guess because this camera has more ability to detect dimension than I do in person, it looks so splotchy and a little bit like dirty, but in person, I don't see any of that. It's a very even toned blue, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I'm much happier with my backpack looking like this than it looked before I dyed it. And that doesn't mean I'm going to utilize it more. It just makes me like it more and feel like it won't be as dirty, you know, when I'm using it, and I don't have to worry about that aspect of a backpack, which I think is very good. And it's not just for fall that this color is relevant. Also, like for denim, I do think denim is a huge fall, not trend, like classic. Like every year denim is on trend for fall. And this blue kind of gives me like denim vibes. So it's a good time to dye it this color. But I love it either way. And I will be actually going on a trip soon. It makes me a lot less anxious taking this guy to the airport when it's not like basically white. So we love, but with my hair, okay, we can't deny, this is a vibe. Well, I mean, I'm already wearing denim. It's a vibe. So I'm so happy with how this turned out. I don't know if on camera you can tell the length difference, but I can when I put it on, and it makes me so excited to wear it. I'm very happy with how this turned out. And keeping on our denim theme, and the things that we got altered, same for this. Everything I just said about that piece, exact same for this, so I won't yap on about it for too long. But what I will say is that I don't have a sewing machine. My neighbor does, and she has offered to teach me how to use it, and I can come use hers anytime I want, which I'm obsessed with. Shout out Rebecca. If you are not friends with your neighbors, you should become friends with your neighbors. And I am going to take her up on that this next couple seasons and learn how to do it, because just getting these 2 pieces altered cost me $100, which is very high. I don't think if I had gone like almost anywhere else it would have cost me so much, but it's one of those things where I like stood there, she pinned me up, everything looked great, I'm so excited, ready to support a small business, and I'm thinking that it's going to be like half that, if that, like, because the last time I got things altered in San Antonio, that's how it was. And when she came up with this like I think it was like $111, she had already pinned me, I'm already at the front, I'm already excited, I couldn't walk away at that point, but I will not be going back there for that reason, but I'm really happy with the pieces that I got. So I will be learning how to do them myself for the future, but that's that on that. Now, brown clothing, I think, is actually one of the reasons that I am such a fall girly. I've talked about it. As long as I've been on the internet, I've been talking about how much I love fall. And I think it's because I do love a layered look. I love the weather. I love the nature that happens during fall. But I also really love brown clothing, all shades of brown. I'm obsessed with it. We dyed these brown. These are the final product. This one came out looking a lot more pinky. It's still brown in person, but it looks a little bit of a pinky brown because the underbase of this was obviously white. And this one came out looking a little more coffee brown, maybe? No, it's more like, I don't know. What color brown would you call this? Let us know in the comments, but they're different browns. I still love them both dearly. I'm so happy about this. I will definitely be utilizing it a lot more because of dyeing it, because of the results of our process today. Now, updating those pieces felt so worthwhile because of how important and staple those pieces are, and because I already had them and I didn't need to go buy anything new. The whole point was like, use what you already have, but let's make it something that you'll actually use so that you don't feel the need to go out and replace them, which is great, wonderful. But those 4 pieces in my wardrobe aren't going to completely stop my urge to want to add things to my wardrobe during the fall season. And I've talked about this in a few of my recent videos, but I really still struggle with my urge for shopping. I think because that urge developed in such developmental years in my life. Like, it was such a part of my identity for so long, and during those formative years, that separating myself from that habit has been really hard. And I struggle the most around this time of year because I love fall clothes so much. And so during the process of doing all this with my wardrobe, I honestly think I was listening to a video of Alexa's while I was like dyeing something in my kitchen, and I had my headphones on, and she starts talking about how she's cataloging her wardrobe. And I'm listening and I'm like, oh my God, that sounds like so much work. And then I was like, wait, I'm literally working on a video to stop myself from shopping, and this sounds like an incredible tool to do just that. So I decided to do it myself. And that has been the most important part of this journey of trying to stop myself from shopping, is cataloging my wardrobe. And I know it sounds like a lot of work, and it did take me like a good probably 5 hours to catalog all of my wardrobe, which came out to be 260 items. But I think seeing it in a digital form has transformed the way that I can conceptualize outfits. But things being like closed away in your closet and trying to think about what you have and put outfits together is so much harder than just having every piece of clothing you own in an app. And when you're out shopping or when you're scrolling Pinterest, you can immediately go to this outfit tab and put together pieces that you have that are as similar as possible to the things that you're trying to buy or recreate, and find that you can get pretty close probably with things you already have, or come up with some other new outfit that you've never worn before, and all of a sudden that urge is fulfilled without having to buy anything new. So obviously I just did the process of cataloging my whole wardrobe. I've started making outfits, and I thought that one of the things that I was going to get the most out of was hiring a personal stylist, which I did, and she put together some outfits for me. I'm gonna pop them up here. I think you should let me know which one is your favorite and least favorite, because Madison and I had exact opposites. My favorite outfit was her least favorite outfit, and her least favorite outfit was my favorite outfit, like complete opposites. So I'm so curious to know which of these is your favorite and least favorite. And that was really helpful. There are some like suggestions she made, which is how I kind of realized that the things I use the most are accessories, bags, jewelry, but those are the things that I look for at the thrift store the least. And so just shifting that in my mind, because it can completely change an outfit, but it can go with so many different outfits, and they're gonna have a much higher, like, or much lower, I guess, cost per wear, because you will wear them with so many outfits. So that's something that like this kind of transformed in my mind, that when I go thrifting, I actually don't really need any more clothes. But if I wanna have something to put into my wardrobe that's going to make it a lot more versatile, accessories can do that. But overall, I actually learned so much more from just myself, being able to put outfits together myself. When I'm scrolling on Pinterest, I can literally just go over to the Index app and put outfits together that look as close to the ones that I'm looking at on Pinterest without having to add anything to my thrifting wish list most of the time. But I would say that with the Index app, with upcycling and changing and hemming and altering my clothes, I feel so confident that I will not be shopping for fun this fall season. And I'm so happy that I did this, and I super encourage you to do any of the things we did today. Update some pieces in your wardrobe, get some of them tailored, ask for the price ahead of time, use the Index app. I swear it's going to change my life, and I can see this app absolutely blowing up. I'll leave it linked in the description. I think I can apply for a referral code to get you $10 if you want to hire a stylist, which I honestly, like in retrospect, don't think you need to. I think just seeing your clothes and making outfits yourself will change your perspective. And I'll keep you updated on the Index app as I continue to make outfits, as I continue to track my cost per wear and how many things things I am actually wearing in my wardrobe and how many things are just kind of sitting there. And I might do a whole other future video walking you through that process and how I feel about it. If you want to see that, let me know in the comments. But for now, I think I have successfully stopped myself from shopping fall fashion this year. So let me know if you enjoyed this video, if you learned anything new. I hope that you did. And remember, until next time, you cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that you can do. Bye, guys.